So, Steve McLaren has selected his technically 22-man squad, but there's a big problem. That problem is the absentee of a player that so much of the fan base, even some of the media personnel, believe that player should be in the squad. All right, so welcome back, people, to MG Sports TV. Thank you very much again for tuning in. We're just going to do a small review. Well, not small, but we're just going to do a review on the squad. Steve McLaren squad that he has selected to partake in the Unity Cup. But I also want to discuss certain other aspects of the selection, and just on the side, just someone on this, just looking and seeing a lot of commotion, a lot of issues. I see something that many everyone say it's not something I don't like, but I've seen now a repetition of similar traits, similar characteristics over the media forum. I'm not gonna get into that, people, but you know, let's hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much again for tuning in. Before I get into the squad, I wanted to touch on the Ravel Morrison situation, and there's a particular approach. When I watched the coach's presentation on the squad today, in some sense, the old talking point, or when the question section reaches, the entire question section was circling around Ravel Morrison, and I find it quite an interesting topic to look at. And if you look into things, it's like when a squad is selected and many persons believe that a particular player should be in that squad, there is this huge blow up about that particular player. And this is something that I've seen over even this generally the YouTube space, whereas if there's one issue, that one particular issue is technically blown out of proportion, sometimes unnecessarily. Quite a lot of the questions were asked surrounding Ravel Morrison to the coach. I thought that he answered the questions respectable and rightly gave his thoughts on the player, and also basically slamming away some of the accusations in some aspect. You can also say that when the coach, I gotta say, you can maybe criticize one of few things that you'd have said, but he did make his statement clear on the player. And people are the one of the aspect is that people are gonna say that because the coach said there's not enough data to work with surrounding the player, and he hasn't really seen him because he's not playing at a top level. Now, there are going to be detractors, or even people just going to say, even some of the media persons would say that they're going to use the UAE third division and make it in comparison to the JPL because they see JPL players in the league. Now, from my perspective, I can be 100% wrong. I have no problem in being wrong. I do think that the JPL is of a higher level than the third division in Dubai. No, as I said, I can be wrong 100% on that. Everyone has your own viewpoint. So that in itself, that reference, many really work with it. Now, the big problem here is the coach made a clear statement that if you viewed, because he's speaking to one of the persons, if you view him that highly based on what you've seen and such, don't you think that you'll be playing at a higher level? That's basically what the coach was saying. And in context, if you really look at it that way, I do believe that we as football supporters, even media outlets as well, we tend to stuck in the past in some aspect. Now, in regards to Ravel Morrison, we are looking at what we know of Ravel Morrison. The last game Ravel Morrison played for Jamaica was in 2023. That's what, 2 years ago. Let me just do a quick check. I do apologize for that because me never didn't really I gonna make reference to the last game he played, anything like that. But me just make a quick check on that. The last game when he played. Not really sure. I think the last game I played for Jamaica in 2023. Yes, it was a part of the squad last year for the which one they cup them? The quarterfinals of the Nations League. He was a part of the quarterfinals, but he was on the bench. He didn't come onto the pitch, and the last game he played was actually in 2023, the 27th of March, 2023. That's basically over 2 years now. Was the last we would have seen Ravel Morrison played some football. And in all aspect, memory live on. So what you have in your head, you see him play good the last time, that's what's stuck in your head. Most of the persons who are calling for Ravel Morrison haven't sit down in the last 2-3 months and really actually watch Ravel Morrison. That's and me said most, me never say everybody. Me say most of the persons who are calling for him, they haven't really watched him. They're using past reference in their mind of how they play. This is a player I really like. But you have to give the coach some credit in regards to what his clear understanding of what he wants to do and the direction that he's going. Now, I do agree though, let me say this, let me make this clear. I do agree though that yes, he could be a part of the provisional squad. I do agree with that. So that in itself, the exclusion from that in itself could most definitely raise some questions. No problem at all. But I do think this consistent lamenting or questioning surrounding Ravel Morrison is just one of those type of talking points that, especially in the YouTube space, they beat it so often and they drive it so often, even reach point now where a petition assigned Ravel Morrison being in a squad. I couldn't believe when I see it. I couldn't believe none at all. You beat the topic so hard because it's a talking point. Now everybody start jump on that specific topic. And it's good for content. It's good for content. It's good for content. And the whole point is this. How is it that a JPL baller are going to make the squad, but yes, the Ravel Morrison can't make the squad? Now, this is quite difficult for me as a topic to discuss. Because one, the whole point is MG Sports are going to defend because they want in JPL baller in a squad. That's the first thing I'll come out. And that makes me invalid to speak about any other topic surrounding the national team. See? But that generally is my 3 cents. I did think the coach handled himself really well surrounding the Ravel Morrison matter. And the truth is, not many of the persons who are calling for Ravel Morrison would have seen the data or even watched the games if they know what he has to offer. For me, I haven't seen Ravel Morrison play in a long time. So I can't call for a player that I have not seen. I can't do that. I've seen so much other players that play in recent times, right across Europe. Me more for call for them players. Now man, Campbell, Kenwright, Campbell, even Serkan Satchwell, team games, even feeling games are being shown. And these are players upon the fringes of the team. But there are so much other players that can offer. Dante Casanova, who has been a part of the Tottenham setup senior team for a good while now. And me not hear nobody talk about that. I haven't seen everyone mention him. And I'm surprised. But the old talking point is around Ravel Morrison. And as I say again, it's just more of a feeling thing more than anything else. And I just think the coach handled himself well on that. All right, let's get to the squad. Let's get to the squad, people. Fix my camera. Good. So this is the squad. This is the Reggae Boyz squad. Some surprise faces. Quite an interesting selection as well. Goalkeepers, Shaquan Davis, Benjamin Williams, Tafari Chambers. No, let me make it clear. A lot of the players that you'd want to see, you won't see them because most of the other players, they have to take them holidays, people. They might come from a long season, so they have to take their holidays. They must take them holidays. That's just how it is. That's a part of it. Anyways, Shaquan Davis, Mount Pleasant, Benjamin Williams, Portmore United, Tafari Chambers, Mount Pleasant. To be honest, I was a little bit surprised to see Benjamin Williams. Haven't seen him play a good amount of games for Portmore in recent, so I was quite surprised to see him. We knew him start the season well. Then now Russell came in, so a little bit surprised to see him. But the coach made his decision. Defenders: Richard King, Mason Holgate, Dexter Lembikisa, Kyle Ming, Amari Bell, Greg Lay, Stephen Young. Richard King Cavalier. We just tell you the JP players. Then Kyle Ming Mount Pleasant, Stephen Young Portmore United. Quite so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players from the Jamaica Premier League so far as well. Next up we have the midfielders: Isaac Aiden, Casey Palmer, Brandon Cover, John Russell, Daniel Green. It's good to see John Russell falling back in line. We never saw him the other day for the qualifiers. Now it's good to see him back with the team. That's now another JP player in the middle of the park. Forwards: Dwayne Busy Atkinson, Ronaldo Cephas, Warner Brown, Rumarna Burrell, Kaim Dixon, Javon East. Quite a lot of pace. So none of the traditional names that I would have seen on a regular basis, except Ronaldo Cephas. And Kaim Dixon. Well, them Kaim Dixon and Ronaldo Cephas are more likely players on the fringes of it. Well, not fringe, but substitute players. Because most of the time the games has a couple of minutes these players will get. Now, for me, overall squad, due to the fact that you won't get your full strength squad based off the fact that you have a lot of players overseas who are most of the players in Europe. They might go up on a holiday, such and such, and then come back for the qualifiers and the Gold Cup. So I would understand on this aspect of it. I do believe also is that this would have been a good opportunity to give some of the players that they're working on their documentation an opportunity to see them and see how well they will flourish into the setup. But nevertheless, an okay squad. I do have questions, but definitely, just me not go make no nice about nothing. Me not go whatever the case may be. You will find persons make nice, especially when you come on to the Jamaica Premier League players, specifically when you come on to them, and nothing at all wrong with that. I have no issue with that at all. Don't make my ideas clear where that is concerned. But definitely, as I said, it would be a good opportunity to see some of the players that we haven't seen. Even like a player like Malik Madazil, where documentation kind of close, such and such. But this would be a good opportunity. But also another player, whereas just a finished season and you don't know anything already. But Kaim Dixon is also not finishing season as yet, so question mark there. But Kaim Dixon was more so a part of the academy setup, the U21 setup, than the first team. So maybe that's the case. So it's coach's decision. The coach's selection. Quite an interesting one, I have to say. Won't say much more on it, but another addition is Sole Makala has been added to the team. That makes it, let me check it in total. Check the total now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make a total of 10 Jamaica Premier League players. I do know that the PFJ will be smiling now to see so much of the JPL players making it to the senior setup. But this is an opportunity for them to prove that they are their selection is definitely worthy. So it's on their shoulder. They know have to go out there and perform and do their best. I do think though I really thought there's a few players that I thought would have made it. But I guess that's football. Anyways, big up on yourself, people. Tell me what you think about the team. We can the Ravel argument can rest here now. The coach made his stance very, very clear on the Ravel Morrison situation. Smash the like button. Sole Makala added to the squad. That's the next update. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, people. Thank you very much again for tuning in. And I'll see you guys again. Until next time, MJ Sports TV. We're out. God bless. Boom. And I mean outside. Outside. Yo. Yeah.